Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Talks with Tino. Finally, we're here. Finally, this is the first episode, so I'm excited, and I hope you guys are excited as well. I'm going to use this platform to focus on talking about mental health. It's big at the moment, and I'm not sure what everybody's understanding of it is, and I think we've all got different perception of what it is, and I think that it all affects us differently. Well, it does. So let's talk about it. Let's normalize this, and let's have lighthearted conversations about this, because I think that's the way forward at the moment with everybody being stuck indoors. You know, communication is a step towards the right direction, and you're already halfway there. So I'm here to try and spread that positivity, that joy, that energy, and I hope that you guys spread it too. You know, to whoever you might meet or whatnot. So let's do it. Let's talk about it, and I hope you enjoy this episode. Okay, so I'm going to start by introducing my guest, Kian, who's a friend of mine. And he's going to talk to me about today, and we're just going to have a brief discussion about mental health and what we think it is. Okay, so yeah, my fantastic guest Kian, take it away, please.
Yeah, you started off with fantastic, so I got a lot to live up to now. But yeah,
I see.
Hello guys, thank you for having me, Tino. I appreciate it.
Absolutely,
I feel quite honored.
Always a pleasure.
I can't lie. First podcast. I'm excited, man. I'm excited. Yeah, hi guys, I'm Kian, Key, whatever you want to call me, that's fine. I'm one of Tino's housemates, good friends as well.
Yes,
so,
you
anyway.
are one of my former housemates, absolutely, yes.
And I'm gonna be real with you, you are a delight to be, you know, in our house anyway. Like, you had a good energy that I think. Do you know what I mean?
This is what I like to hear, positivity. No, it's
yeah,
okay.
no.
Keep showering me with compliments.
No, but no, I would be real. Like, mate, if anything, I'd rather keep it real, and like that's a fact. Like, I think we all were going through weird things, you know, during that year that we were staying together. But I think no matter what, you know, we were going through, most, if not all, my interactions with you, it still was positive, even if we were talking about negative things. I still think we were talking in a positive light. We talked about it in a positive way.
I think that's what it's about. It's about trying to be positive as much as you can, because
100%.
You know,
100%.
I think I highlighted earlier. It's difficult. A lot of people today, I suppose, it's normalized slightly more to talk about your emotions and your feelings, but I think there's still a stigma about doing that, and I think obviously, like, be a man and, you know, do things it's still prevalent.
That, like, alpha male today. Mentality of, like,
it
you can't
is,
express your feelings.
Well, they have a word for that, toxic masculinity.
That's the one, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There you go. So it's difficult, but I think that's what we've got to work towards. We've got to work towards being a bit more emotional, I guess.
100%.
Have a cry if you need to. Absolutely, have a cry. So I think I'm going to start off today. And I'm gonna say to you, Kian, what is mental health to you? Like, what does that mean to you? Like, when someone says that to you, what goes through your mind? Like, what does that mean?
Okay. I just want to make it clear to everyone listening. I actually don't know what's about to happen. So I haven't heard any of these questions. So I'm excited, but I'm gonna be on the spot. So
absolutely, yeah, that's how we like it. We want it fresh.
just be prepared to edit.
It's like,
everything.
at the end of the day, it's like approaching somebody on the street. If you approach somebody on the street and you just come at them, you need to know what people are thinking, because we want to change attitudes. We want to make people a bit more positive, because it's hard at the moment. I mean, we're all stuck indoors with a repetitive cycle, most of us. So it's good to keep ourselves stimulated and aware. So yeah. I think that's how I want to keep. I want to know that.
I like, you know,
just
straight of that as well.
Straight with the question, Kian. I'm coming
so,
at you.
So
what's
mental health to me, mental health is it's, I guess, just how you treat yourself. I think
how
the
you
brain,
treat yourself. I like that.
Yeah,
okay.
like I think the brain at the end of the day is a is it a muscle or an organ?
I believe they classify the brain as a muscle. If I were to give you some pointers or some information, I have here the World Health Organization's definition of mental health. Yeah. They define it as a state of well-being which the individual realizes his or her own abilities, can cope with the normal stresses of life, can work productively and fruitfully, and is able to make a contribution to his or her communities. The WHO is correct, because I don't know who wrote that, but that's a mouthful.
That's more of like positive mental, like that's good mental health, right?
Yes, that's their definition what mental health is. It's a state of well-being. So I think from what I've picked up on that, somebody who's able to live day-to-day life. But the word normal I highlighted because what normal is to one person is completely different to what normal is to another person.
That's such an interesting point, because I feel like with mental health, it's, as you say, like what does normal mean? Because if anything, being normal is such a abnormal thing because everyone is so different. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I really wanted to highlight on that because stigma, I think, is a big issue in terms of the differences of people. Everybody's so different. Yeah. But within everybody's differences, there seems to be an urge to want to be the same, or there seems to be a focus on being the same, which is where stigma comes into play. Be a man, you know, and men do this, men do that, and not just men. Women do this and women do that. It categorizes us. We put ourselves into categories, and then we expect ourselves to behave in such a way, which is, well, I don't know if it's fair for me to say, but it's definitely my opinion. It's absolutely ridiculous. How can you categorize individuals? That is nonsensical. And I think because of how the world is shaped in a sense, we don't realize it, but indirectly, through the things that we do, sometimes we do put ourselves in those categories, which makes it difficult to break certain chains that we may have when we're struggling. For example, suicide rates have gone up. I suppose people are afraid to talk. Like, I'm not okay today. I don't feel good today. I don't want it. I'm not on it.
Yeah.
It's okay to say that.
Yeah, for sure.
You
Especially given a global pandemic as well. Like, it's this thing that I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, and it was like, you know, when everyone's asking like, "Oh, you right?" It's like, what answer do you want? Do you want the answer that you want to hear, which is, yeah, I'm good? Or do you want the answer, no, I'm living in a global pandemic. I am struggling with my mental health. I am struggling to just get up in the morning. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's
what we need to work towards. We need to work to be as honest as possible. I think, obviously, it's all contextual. It depends on it is. It's contextual. You
can't just go to a random Johnny, a bus driver, like, you right? It's like,
no, man, I'm not okay today. I'm not okay. I woke up at 12 o'clock this afternoon because I couldn't be asked to get out. I was depressed because I knew today was going to be the same, and I had to get on this bus. I'm not okay today. I suppose you can't say that to a bus driver.
But it's about
but it's about being real. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. If you're not okay, you're not okay.
Yeah.
But I think what's important is to not rest on those thoughts, is not to become entrapped in that type of behavior. Yeah. You're not okay, and that's absolutely fine. But don't become dependent on the fact that you're not okay as an excuse for you not to make changes that will positively benefit your life.
100%.
Because that's what you got to do, man. At the end of the day, it's your life.
Your perception of just reality in general. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think you have to keep being positive. And I don't like it when people say keep being positive, because for me, I look and I think I'm always positive. What do you mean I have to keep being positive, you know? Because I've personally struggled with mental health myself. And I spoke to a counsellor. And I thought to myself, I wonder what they have to say. I knew what my issues were, so I wasn't ready or willing to discuss them. I wanted solutions there and there. But I think from what I found out is, in the balance and keep being positive, I think what they are pretty much saying is you have to find ways in which you find positivity. It doesn't matter what that is. And when you find that positivity, you need to go to that place when you're feeling down. And when you go to that place, don't become reliant on it, but understand that that's your way out and that's your way to help you recover, because you have the ability to recover. And I think that's what I wish somebody had told me, like that, instead of saying keep being positive, because people just throw words.
Yeah, like keep your head up, or like
when people throw words, it makes me feel like, don't just throw words at me. Like, it makes me feel like you don't get me. Yeah. Why are you telling me things I already know?
Like, you don't understand what I mean. Yeah. Like, it just becomes cliche, doesn't it? Like,
absolutely,
it means nothing at that point.
Absolutely, and I think we really need to sort of walk away from that. Because how am I going to go to a counsellor or a doctor and be like, I'm feeling this way, and then like, you have to try to keep positive. I know that. I know. I didn't come here for you to tell me what I know. What are you trying to say? I know. I've been trying. Listen, I played literally like 21 games of FIFA. I just tried that. I know. Stop telling me that. So I think it's definitely how you retain that information. It's so
100%.
important because
100%.
it's going to affect your mood, you know. How significantly, it's obviously dependent on the person because different things affect people in different ways. But it's just important to always have that understanding at the back of your head because I think sometimes it's quite easy to forget.
Yeah. You know what it is? Coming back to that point of normal, you know, I think it's a sad reality, but because I hate saying this because I'm a big user of social media, but I think that it sometimes doesn't help you define your own version of normal because you are so consumed on this platform where people usually portray their, you know, success or their good things and their happy days. And it's
that
like
reality versus expectations.
Exactly. And I think
because what your reality is and what you expect might not in line. It might not might not work. You know, because your reality, I think sometimes it's difficult to sort of accept our reality because we might not be happy. That's the issue. Because once especially during lockdown, because there's so much less that you can get up to and there's so much less that you can do. You're consumed by your own thoughts. You know, and when you are consumed by your own thoughts, like you realize maybe your reality a lot more than you would because you've got so many other things to distract you when you go out and you have a drink and, you know, and you go out the weekend. And, you know, and you come back, you know, the next weekend if you do drink that much, which I don't condone.
No, but as you say, you've always got things to do. I think this is something that I've been thinking about a lot in terms of I had a moment the other day where I was trying to reflect on this whole pandemic as a whole, and I realized that the first lockdown for me was where I was at my peak in terms of this pandemic, you know, time, because I took the first lockdown as, okay, I'm gonna have all this time to myself. I have to work on myself. I don't have any excuses. The world is at a still. Like, I don't have any excuses to not do the things I want to do, right? I've got to now do this. And I really took that mentality, and I feel like mentally and personally, I think I did that really well. I may not have done or achieved many things, you know, that I can show, but like
I think
mentally,
from what you're telling me as well, you are rewarding yourselves for the things that you do. Yeah. And I think that is so important. To reward yourselves, because I think sometimes we take for granted the simple things. Like, exactly. You know, you got out of bed maybe and you made a cup of tea and you don't feel special. I don't know if you've ever seen those videos on what's it called, Instagram, or any type of social media type of network, where they say that if you wake up today and you make your bed, you've made a step in the right direction. 100%. If you then go, they do these little things, and you know, I suppose the music sort of adds some type of ambience like that you're going to change the rest of your life. Like, I think this is what I mean by the expectation versus reality. I think what you need to realize, you know, from my perspective, is you've done something positive, be happy about it, accept it, and then do something else positive. You know what I mean? You did it, you know, this morning, you woke out of bed this morning, you can do something else. Don't focus on what's next. Or I can't go through that in a negative light, or I can't go through this, I go through that. Focus on you, like, oh, I did that. Oh, I did this. I can do this. Absolutely, because the challenges will never end.
100%.
But you will get stronger. This is what I'm saying. You will always get stronger. Because 100%. Making a cup of tea when you're 5 years old was probably a bit difficult. You know, using a mobile phone. It's all relative. Absolutely. And that's the type of mindset I feel like we need to sort of adapt to people to sort of just think that way and share our struggles when we feel that the world is against us, because nobody's safe from mental health. No one is safe. I didn't know I was, you know, I had mental health issues till I had the mental issues. I didn't know. I was like, what are you talking about? What's mental health? I don't know what that is. I don't care. You know what I mean? What's that to me? But no one is safe. No one is safe. But the beauty of it is nobody's weak either. Yeah. So I think that's the sort of like
That was beautiful. That was beautiful.
Thank you. Somebody put that on a sticker or something. Someone
yo, clip that. Clip that.
I don't know if you ever watched Forrest Gump.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. I think they put a bunch, like when they said, excuse my French, when they said shit happens. Someone do that. Someone bumper stick me.
Yeah.
Trademark Tino talks with Tino.
Yeah. No, that was beautiful. I was in a trance just then when you said that. I was like almost like lost myself there because that was sick.
No, but it's important. You've got to realize that there's a stigma there and it's negative. It's not an easy thing to do, but it's doable. There's communication, and it's not an easy thing to do. You can't just come out and tell people like, listen, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm going through this and I'm going through that. This is my life right now. Sometimes it's hard, and sometimes you feel embarrassed, man. That's my boys. How am I gonna go out to my boys and tell them this? Or that's my family member. Oh, that's my friend. How am I telling this? No. It's okay, because your reality will not change. It's more likely to change if you do something about it, and that's talking. Because talking is half the battle. Communication is half the battle. So stigma, communication, your reality. What's your reality and what's your expectation? Of course, it can be done. But look at it for what it is and from where you are. Because in the statement or in the definition of mental health, like I said, I highlighted it where it says realizes his or her own abilities. Your abilities are different to everybody else's. If Usain Bolt challenged me to a 100-meter race and beat me, I'm not going to be too upset. Yeah. The guy does it for a living. You know what I mean?
If you then beat your own personal record, right? Or if you tried your hardest.
Absolutely. Because if Usain tries to come up to me and tries to challenge me and see, if he can talk more than me, and he wins, I'm going to be disappointed because I don't think Usain talks more than I do. You know what I mean? We all have our powers. We all have our superpowers. We all have the things that we do best, and we need to embrace it and accept it for what it is, because it's beautiful. It's beautiful, 100%. Man.
Because even though you may have lost that 100-meter sprint, you can still find that. You can find the positives out of that.
Absolutely.
Provided you've put yourself through something.
But if I ran every day.
That's the thing. Yeah.
There you go. It's about how much, effort and investment you put in it. So you got to have that, perspective as well. And then I think with that comes the aspect of, carrying on to be positive and having the balance, because obviously it only relates to yourself. And then you have to just remind yourself that, you know what, you're doing great. You're 100%. Doing wonderful. Don't worry. Don't worry about it.
But it's about not being complacent. When you tell yourself like, yeah, I'm doing fine, it's not you telling yourself you're good. It's saying it's okay to be where you are. If you want to move, then it's okay to be where you are, but you have to understand that you've got to keep going, right?
Absolutely.
So I think there's a difference between telling yourself it's so like if you wake up and you make a cup of tea, for example. Let's break it down to like basics, right? Yeah. So if you make yourself a cup of tea and then you sit there and you're like, oh, I made myself a cup of tea. I feel great. I'm gonna do nothing else. That's where it's dangerous, because
absolutely,
like, because as you say, you
it's not
mentioned
dangerous
earlier,
to make cups of tea, people. We're just gonna you can make. I mean, the hot water might be boiling over, but it's not dangerous. Okay,
but it's
if you understand the analogy, if we painted the picture correctly, keep moving forward.
But it's as you say, like it's understanding and being real to your ability. But it's also it's okay. Where do I go from here now? Understanding. Absolutely. I've done this. What else can I do?
Absolutely.
And I think that's where people struggle with understanding, because I feel like some people get complacent when they try to acknowledge their achievement, and it's like, hold on, that gets quite dangerous, because
I suppose
you then don't.
As you're moving forward, sometimes you do take for granted the thing. They become little things.
But
everything starts
that balance,
off big,
as you say.
Exactly. It's the balance. I love that you said that. It's the balance, and it's the percent that everything starts off big until it becomes small.
Yeah.
So, we've used the cup of tea reference a few times now. I think people are gonna get sick of tea. Maybe might put the tea business out of tea. Sorry, Typhoon and Tetley.
It's dangerous, guys. Stay away.
It's dangerous. But I think it's important to realize, like, everything was once hard. But if you do it enough times, it's easy. And don't be worried about how many times you have to do it. Just enjoy the journey. Enjoy the fact that at least you're able to try. At least you're able to do it. So
I think doing you.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think if I was to leave it on that note, for our first, sort of hash or sort of waffle or what we think mental health is. I mean, I think we've obviously discovered it's different to so many people, and it affects so many people, and it's important to reach out and communicate. That's what I'd urge from this podcast. If you can take anything away from today, just speak to someone, tell someone something, because your situation, your circumstances are completely different, so you have to adapt, and you can do it. You can do it. So I think
I like to think myself and Tino as well are someone you can talk to, because I feel like we both have our own experiences of mental health. But
absolutely, everybody has experiences. Yeah,
I like to think I am, but I know Tino is definitely a really good listener. And he's really good at like getting on your wavelength. You know, no matter what experiences you have and whatever experiences Tino's had, he's really good at like leveling with you and understanding exactly and empathizing essentially. So if
Arsenal have won, I have to say, if Arsenal haven't won, I mean, I wouldn't hope for that. I mean, I think that's what it's being about. I think when you go through something that you personally find difficult, you're able to sort of appreciate that you've managed to go through it and come clean on the other side. And if you see other people struggling, all you want to do is help, because it gives you a type of, I don't know, a type of not just confidence, a type of self-satisfaction.
100%.
I think that's what life's
you don't want
about.
someone to go through what you've gone through
in ways that you can.
Yeah.
We have our own story, so you just need to
to
share it if you can. I think. Do you know what? I've loved this chat with you, Kian. I think it's been amazing.
No, I appreciate that. I appreciate you for having me on here, man.
No, I thank you for coming on. We had a little hash here about, you know, what mental health is and things that we face and how to be positive. And obviously, as the podcast go on, we're going to go more in depth. We're going to talk about different things. We're going to talk about, you know, what makes you happy. Have you done what makes you happy? Do you interpret information for what it is, like in the right way, or for what you think it is, or what you want it to be?
Or even, are you happy? You know?
Or are you, you know, and it's okay if you're not happy at that time, but nothing lasts forever, not even sadness, you know. You have ample opportunity to be happy, so it's about obviously having that attitude, you know. Are you talking to people enough? Are you in your routine, like your core beliefs and what you do every day and what you're believing? Are you sort of acting in accordance to that? Because sometimes when you're not, you might feel a bit off and you can't pinpoint what's wrong, but it might be to do with that. There's so many things, and in the upcoming podcast we're going to cover all of that. We're going to talk about it, we're going to go into depth and have fun with it, and just enjoy the fact that, you know what, we're able to talk, and it's beautiful. So I think on that note, I would urge everybody to just stay positive. Like I said, I'm not trying to be one of those doctors that just tells you what you already know, but if you can, or pick anything up from today, stay positive. And also, you know, look for different things to do to keep yourself occupied. You know, if you join some groups maybe that do like some webcam and stuff like that. I mean, I know in Cardiff in particular, I'm part of an organisation called Bridge the Gap Football, and we do a lot of community-based activities. We play football every Monday, and it's just nice, even doing simple like that. It's amazing. So Bridge the Gap is something that I would, you know, if you're on Instagram, have a look at them, Bridge the Gap Football and Bridge the Gap Cardiff, and give them a follow. And it's just things like that you know you can do. And like I said, we'll delve more into that in the next upcoming podcast. Kian, is there anything you want to say or sort of highlight that you feel?
I guess if there's any last remarks,
yes.
I guess I'll quote WHO. You know, like, understand your ability and realize your ability and your strengths. Because I think sometimes we find it difficult to do that because we compare ourselves with people, you know.
Absolutely.
You've got to, as I say, as Tino said, you know, there's a lot to take from this episode. I hope anyway. But yeah, just as you say, because I know a nice little. This is a starter. You know, you've gone out for a 3-course meal. We've just given you the starter. The little salad.
A little something. Hopefully, it's better than just olives and bread. You know, not that I'm discriminating against olives and bread. I'm a big fan. Not that, but yeah, hopefully. But no, thank you so much for that, Kian.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
No, 100%. That's all we've got time for today, guys. Thank you so much for listening. Hope you enjoyed the first podcast. We're just here to spread positivity. Don't feel free to direct message me _TalksWithTino _HQ, and just any topic or anything you feel like you want to talk about. We are more than happy to do it. This is the opportunity that we've been given, and we're going to make the best out of it. But yeah, thank you so much for listening, and I suppose that's it for Talks with Tino. And as we like to say on Talks with Tino, be kind, to your mind. Goodbye, everybody, and have yourself a fantastic day.